Welcome everybody, this is How to English, Teach and Learn with Gav and Em.
It's a podcast about teaching and learning English as a foreign language.
All opinions stated are personal and references will be given when necessary.
Em, is your audio working?
I hope so, Gav.
That's good. Are you just checking the little bars moving up and down?
Looks like it. It's very small.
As long as it's working, that's the most important thing.
Can you check it for me?
No, I trust you.
Go on, have a look.
That looks really good.
Does yours look the same as that?
Yeah.
Good. Well, that was a bit of a stumbling start. Gav, we're back. Season 6.
Of Gav and Em's How to English pod. We need to introduce ourselves, Em.
We should do that. First things first. I am Em.
And I am Gav. And who are we, Em and Gav?
We are EFL, TEFL teachers, English as a foreign language, teaching English as a foreign language. It's our bread and butter. It's what we do.
It is, and we do it quite often. We have group classes, we have individual classes, we teach business and general and very occasionally some exam classes. What kind of levels do you teach, Em?
Everything from intermediate to advanced, but I have in my day taught beginners, and yeah, it's a diverse group of students that we have.
And what ages of students do we have?
Adults mainly, but in the past I have taught kids too. But yeah, anyone can learn English, any age. And why are we here, Gav?
We are here because we want to share our knowledge of teaching and learning with our podcast followers.
So if you're a teacher or a student or just interested in what it's like to be an EFL teacher or to be in the EFL world, you've come to the right place.
So who are our followers, Em?
Maybe aspiring teachers, maybe a teacher that's just got their CELTA and is fresh into the EFL world. Maybe it's students who are interested to know what it's like from a teaching perspective, and also from other students, because we often talk about our students and try and understand their perspective, and perhaps that would be interesting for people.
And I think learners would get plenty of learning tips while they travel on the Teach and Learn bus with Gav and Em.
Choo-choo. No, that's a train. Anyway, you get the idea.
I certainly have. We've decided to approach season 6 of the podcast in a slightly different way this time, Em. You came up with a rather nice idea that we would do the A to Z of teaching and learning with a TEFL theme.
Yeah, Gav, and this is a game I play in my TEFL classroom sometimes when you get students to start with A and think of all the words you can that start with that letter. And if you want to get really hard and challenge your students, you can ask them just to think of fruits or sports or whatever topic it is you're learning. But yeah, I thought we could do it with the...
Can I interrupt you? You are spoiling one of my topics for today.
Oh.
I was going to talk about that game.
Really? Oh, well...
But now you've made me feel like it should be in episode 7.
Which is?
G for games.
Oh, well, yeah, maybe we'll come back to it. But you were thinking of the A to Z game.
That's it. That fits perfectly into today's episode, which is going to feature topics that all begin with the letter A.
Nice. Well, I like the segue then. You've gone straight into your first topic, which is the A to Z game. Great. I think I've just explained how that works. So, what other A words have you thought of, Gav, to talk about today?
Well, apart from the alphabet game, which could actually be a number of different games. I don't know if you're familiar with all the plethora of alphabet games that are available to TEFL teachers.
Well, I called it the A to Z game, so you're calling it the alphabet game, which is fine too. But yeah, apart from name as many words with that letter, what other games can you play?
How about the alphabet story?
What's that?
That's where one student starts a story with a sentence beginning with the letter A. The next student continues with a sentence beginning with the letter
B. That's fab. Okay, so I'll start. At 12 o'clock, all the people stopped.
Because they realised that it was time for lunch.
Can we have hamburgers? Said Penelope.
Don't think so. Because half of us are vegans.
Excellent. we can have vegan and meat together. Not together, separate, but for everyone. For everyone. Everyone will be happy.
Fantastic idea, Em. Now let's stop the game because I'm having far too much fun. There's also the alphabet picture game.
What's that?
One student draws a picture representing a word starting with each letter of the alphabet, and the others have to guess the word.
Ah, so you could get anything from apple to, I don't know, alligator. Oh, I was thinking animal too. Aardvark, which is quite hard to draw. Would you generate that yourself as a teacher? Would you give them the words, or you could get the students to make their own?
You give them a letter and they have to draw a picture that
Any
starts with that
picture.
letter.
Right, so it's not with any cards. It's actually really good because it's materials free, apart from the pen.
Aardvark, armadillo, anteater. In fact, they're all very similar. I'm not
They
sure
all
I distinguish them.
That would be hard. Okay, I like it.
There are plenty more games which we can title alphabet games. There's Pictionary, chain games, 20 questions. Can you imagine how to play 20 questions?
As an alphabet game, well, everything you think of starts with the letter A, B, C, and you've got to ask questions, but you've got a clue because you know it's an A word. Yeah, it's applicable. Applicable. Have we exhausted the alphabet theme now?
I think we can move on to your first A topic for the pod.
I think, Gav, it's got to be AI, which is 2 letters, but A is the beginning, starts with A.
It does start with A. That's an acronym for artificial intelligence.
It's moving fast, and we're already incorporating it, I think, into our lessons. And
You think or you are?
I am. I used it the other day. I needed some words relating to
Animals beginning with A. Vegetables. Was it car brands? Kitchen equipment?
a student was talking about a really specific TV program that they watched, and I'd never heard of it. And when I Googled it, I couldn't find much about it. So I just asked ChatGPT, what can you tell me about this TV program? It obviously went online and found all the other stuff that I couldn't find and gave me a really nice little summary. So I could talk to the student with a bit more knowledge and ask more questions about that character and what happened to that person after that thing happened. And yeah, it really helped.
Was the student aware that you were using artificial intelligence in order to further your knowledge and ask some very astute questions?
Yes, Gav, they did, because they asked me, how do you know that person if you've never seen it? So I said, yes, I have actually checked on AI to see if I could find anything about it. And yeah, you got me. Busted.
Do you think it's necessary for teachers to tell students that they are, in quotation marks, cheating?
I would not call it cheating, but if you want to, I think if the student looks perplexed as to how you know this stuff, then yeah, but not necessarily. I think if you're just having a good chat and it's flowing, then don't worry about it. You can just do a bit of background research, as we often do anyway. I don't always say, I'm Googling it now. I just look at it myself.
That's a really nice tip.
And are you using AI, Gav?
I am also using AI, and I can see many advantages to using it because it helps me plan my lessons, it helps me generate vocabulary, it helps me make questions like you were suggesting that your students might be quite impressed with the depth of your knowledge on a very specific topic. It can also benefit the students though, Em.
In what way?
In personalising their learning, which is unlike a book.
You mean a study book?
I do mean a study book, like a student's book that you typically might open in a course and say, right, do page 1, do page 2, etc., etc. But with an AI, if you're using a chatbot or some other kind of interactive platform, you will find that the AI will respond specifically to you and your needs and not be fixed in stone as a student's book might be.
That's right. And you can even ask ChatGPT or AI to write questions. So
Is ChatGPT synonymous with AI, Em?
might be. I don't know. I can't see the future, but I guess maybe it will be the dominant one, the big one.
Did you just make that up, Em?
Maybe.
Okay.
But you could ask it to write questions based on that TV program. So write 10 questions about the characters in this program. You're never going to find that in a book, are you?
But how are you going to know the answers to those 10 questions?
It gives you the answers.
No way.
Does everything.
That's
does
amazing.
all of it. Does the whole shebang for you.
It could probably write an article.
Can make it a gap fill after you've written a text about it. You can take out vocab words. You could remove all the prepositions if you want. Anything. Words that begin with A. Take them all away.
You could even perhaps put your student into one of the stories from the show. I think they'd be quite impressed with that, and you read it together and do a little mini dialogue together.
Wow, you just thought of that.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that too.
We do like personalising and tailoring our materials for our students, don't we, Em?
We do indeed.
I had a couple of other notes on AI. For example, have you heard of immersive learning with AR and VR?
Please elaborate.
It's not even that new anymore, but you can put on some kind of mask or you can hold up a device and you will feel like you're immersed within an interactive environment.
I have actually tried this and it was weird, but in a cool way. It was like a wood. I don't think I dreamt it. I put on a headset, one of these VR headsets, and I was in a forest. And it was really dark. It was like twilight. And there were all these people just standing around in groups. And I could go up. It does sound a bit weird. I could go up to the group and I could just start talking to them.
Really?
And they all turned towards me and they were saying, hello, who are you? And I wasn't sure if they were real people that also were wearing VR headsets or just bots or something in the computer. But it felt like a real community and it felt really real. And yeah. It's a bit niche, maybe. I don't know who's doing it, but it is something that's possible.
It sounds absolutely fascinating. You said a bit strange maybe to start with, but then you kind of get used to the disorientation of wearing a mask, of being in some surrounding 3D environment.
Yeah.
How can this benefit our students, Em?
Well, I think it reduces the anxiety, perhaps. A for anxiety.
I have the word anxiety. I was going to talk about that next, but now let's incorporate it.
Yeah, I think because these people are maybe not real or you don't feel like they're real, they're avatars. A for avatar, Gav.
That's it, avatars. So the other people and you are represented as an avatar within a digital space, and not only in forests, which I think sounds actually quite strange.
Oh, it was nice. I've got a really good memory of it.
I think I've been in a cinema, and I was in the entrance of the cinema, and
a virtual one, you mean?
Yeah, on VR. Sorry,
right.
I'm talking VR now.
Okay.
And there were people getting drinks, and we were sort of chatting. I've also been in a cafe, and it was a role play. So I went up and I basically said, I'll have a couple of cappuccinos. And what's that? Is that a croissant? Oh, I'll have one of those, please.
Okay, that's great.
Interacting, talking about, polite language, asking questions. Would you mind, please, moving out of the way so I could have a look at this thing, etc. Money, paying, all of those key words that we need. Is that what you're thinking? That's how the students could benefit?
Well, that is one way, definitely replacing the traditional role play, which I don't think students particularly like. So it's a private thing, or they can hook up with friends and do it as a kind of fun thing. But yeah, I think you could do it like that, or just as a chat room where you can just talk about any topic like the one I did. I think it's amazing, and I think students should really know about it and use it. Obviously, it's a bit expensive if you need to buy it yourself, but I'm sure there must be companies and offers available where you can do a course where you rent the headset, or you go to a place where they've got them for you and you can then just pay as you use them.
It's only a matter of time till we're all in a virtual space and with our headsets on, hooked up to a drip and just living our lives that way. I was
going to say it's actually a really good thing because I think it does then make social interaction easier. You've practiced. I don't know. I think we've gone into this weird realm of being a bit scared to talk to each other. Just my opinion. All opinions stated are personal. But I think this could actually be a bridge to getting back out there and talking to real people. So that is a good thing to help with confidence, also help with students just experimenting. I guess if you say it wrong or there's a mistake in the sentence, eventually there will be something to correct you, or some, I don't know, subtitles coming up to say, you should say this.
It'd be great to get some feedback after that
Yeah,
conversation,
because
wouldn't it?
that's the only thing missing, I think, at this point, is where's the correction? Where's the actual teaching, learning part of it?
And also, our interactions these days are generally more commonly online. So maybe this is the future of teaching and learning.
Yeah, I just feel like it's still a bit slow on the uptake. This technology has been around for a very long time, but I still feel like the VR, what was the other one? AR, augmented reality, where you've just got your phone and you can see things on the screen if you point it. I feel like it just hasn't...
Like little dragons and things.
Yeah, I think you're thinking Pokemon Go, but it hasn't really taken off. Like, that was a boom, wasn't it? But it hasn't really got much further than that. It's all very novel, but it can be really useful and applied to a lot of other things.
Can be very liberating for people who maybe don't have the opportunities of going out into a class and sitting with other students and meeting other people.
Yeah, I'd like to see it definitely developing. Quite exciting.
And my other AI point that I wanted to make was about teacher support.
What do you mean?
From the use of AI that might aid teachers by generating lesson plans, grading assignments, even analysing classroom performance trends.
Ooh.
It can automate repetitive tasks, giving teachers more time to focus on their students, who are very important.
Automated repetitive tasks such as?
Well, like I said, maybe grading assignments.
Uh-huh.
That is super boring, isn't it? If you could just get an AI to do that for you, it'd be brilliant. You have more time to play Pokemon Go.
People still play it? I'm sure they do. Good, really good. So are you finished with AI now? Can we keep going?
I think we'll probably come back to AI, but under a different letter.
We're not finished with AI. I shouldn't say that. We are definitely coming back to it. What's your next A word?
Well, I got a bit outside of the park and I've wandered down the lane, and I thought I'd open the box and climb out of the box, and I've decided for my next A word, it's animal homes.
Random.
It is pretty random, isn't it? But I do like talking about animals from time to time, especially with my students.
It comes up. It does come up. My student asked me last week, what's the place where the dog sleeps in the garden?
And was it kennel?
It was kennel.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It wasn't a hammock or anything, if that's what you mean. Yeah, it was a typical dog house.
A dog would struggle to get into a hammock, to be totally honest with you.
Not the dogs I know, but yeah, okay.
Which dogs do you know?
Ones that can get into hammocks.
Circus dogs. Cool.
Anyway, how does this come about, Gav, in this podcast?
Well, it begins with A, and I'm going to quickly go through a list of...
I feel like you already had this and you needed to get it in there somewhere, and now you're just finding a way. Okay.
Let me explain the rules. I'm going to give you the name of an animal's home.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell me what the animal is that lives in that home.
Right. Good. Ready.
Ant hill.
You're starting with an easy one, right? Or is it a trick question? Ants live in ant hills.
They do. Well, I just wanted to see that you understood the principle of the actual game.
I think I got it.
I could swap it round, you know.
You could, but you didn't say that. So let's start with the way you said. Don't confuse me.
Would it be more fun if I gave you the animal and then you told me where it lives?
Fun. That word fun. It would be harder. Well, you do it. It's your game. It's up to you.
Followers, what do you think? Should I give Em the name of the home or the name of the animal that lives in that home?
Home. Well, there's your answer.
Well, there you go. Everybody agrees. Next one is bee.
Hive.
Bird.
Nest.
Cat.
Oh. Anywhere?
That's good, isn't it? Cat will just sleep anywhere. It'll sleep on a person. It'll sleep on the floor, on the sofa.
In the wild? Is it a lair? No, that's lions.
I'm not sure. Yeah, you can get wild cats.
Yeah.
I was going to accept the answer basket.
Oh. Yeah, okay. I would say some.
And a cattery.
Well, don't think they'd choose that, but okay.
Cow.
Cow. Oh, barn.
Chicken.
Coop. Oh, this is just flowing, Gav.
Duck.
Oh, no. Don't know that one. Duck. It's not a nest, is it? That's a
Is it not?
tree bird.
I would have accepted nest, but
I'm sure there's a word for
the
it.
suggested answer is pond.
Oh, soggy nest.
Anywhere near water, basically. Fish.
Where do they sleep? In the sea.
Where do they live? I didn't say sleep.
Oh,
I
I'm
said
thinking
home. What's the home of an animal?
The sea, a pond, a lake, a river, anything.
Aquarium?
Yeah, I was going to say a
Oh,
bowl.
you were too slow there,
I was
Em.
say a bowl. Yeah, goldfish bowl.
Horse.
Stable.
Lion.
I said before, lair.
Den.
Oh, is it den? I was
Sorry.
wrong. What's a lair then? Is that a bear? Bear in a lair.
I think it's just any wild animal that lives in a lair.
Okay.
Rabbit.
Burrow,
Or hutch
if it's domesticated.
in your garden. Spider.
Web.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice to picture.
Collocates nicely.
Snake.
Oh. I was going to say basket for that one. I'm thinking of those old-fashioned Aladdin, like snake charming type things. Where does a snake live?
It lives in a hole.
Oh, I'm overthinking it.
Or a den, maybe.
Right.
Squirrel.
Dray.
Bear.
Cave.
Or den.
Right.
Elephant.
A zoo.
It lives in the jungle.
Oh, okay.
Or savannah. Penguin.
Ice cube.
It's an ice burrow.
Is it?
Yeah, or a nest, because it's a bird, isn't it?
Ice nest. Wow. That's bizarre.
Last two. Fox.
Oh, fox lives in a... I know this. Fox.
It's a den as well.
It's a den,
Or the
okay.
earth.
Right. The
Finally-
Earth. The earth is quite general.
Finally, a beaver.
Oh, that... I know. It's a dam. No.
It's a lodge.
Oh, I was going to get
It
it.
builds a dam.
You should have let me have more time.
Sorry.
Yeah. Lodge.
Yes, lodge. So that was my topic. A for animal homes. Let's go random sometimes.
It's always fun, Gav. Always fun. Okay, my next word then. I thought was quite random, but now I don't think it is because yours was much more random. My word is and. But and with a ...
That's not and as in conjunctions.
No, it's and, just the word and ... is a leading and. Can you think how an and could be leading from a teaching point of view? A student's talking to you and they say, I went to the park at the weekend.
And
And
it is a leading word. It's encouraging the student to talk more.
it's my favourite word. I use it a lot.
Really, I don't think I use it at all.
Really? Oh, so somebody's telling you a story. Maybe you want to put an extra word on there, and then, and after, and what happened.
Maybe if I was talking to a 4-year-old, but not one of my students.
Really? Huh.
It seems really rude. It's like they say to me, I went to the park, and I say, and?
Yeah, it depends how you say it. You say it like that, you sound really annoyed.
And what do I care?
And so?
And so what?
No, it's more, and then what happened?
Do you want a sticker?
No, it's not a kind of and. It's an and then.
And what did you do there? Oh, I would say that.
Yeah.
And did you see any penguins or something like that?
Exactly. But the point is you say and. You don't just say, did you see penguins? Was there ice cream there? You would probably start with an and because it's a softer, more flowing kind of question. I use it. You will probably find you are using it. You just don't realise you're using it. I like and.
Maybe I'm using it more than I realise. But to be honest, I do tend to say, really? What did you see there?
Okay. Your really is my and. Let's say. I use really, but I also use and.
I think I still formulate full questions, though.
I do too, but I start with and. And how was that? And where did you go after? And what happened after that?
Oh, I like that. That is leading me. I feel like I'm following you all the way along this journey to what end, Em?
I don't know, Gav, but that's all. It was just a small point. We're not going anywhere. We're just trundling along.
And?
And next word, please. Okay, my next A word, Gav, is...
And your final one?
Is it my final one? Oh, I've got so many. I've got to choose. Well, you choose. Would you prefer ability, accuracy, appropriacy, admin, assessments, attitude, accessibility? They're all important things.
Accuracy.
Oh, accuracy. Well, this is always a
Hot topic.
hot topic. It's a bit of a conflict that I always have. Should you prioritise accuracy or fluency? So I suppose it's F2, but I think accuracy is fabulous and I would love to have my students speak perfect English.
I think they would like that too.
I'm sure they would.
Maybe we should ask them.
I have asked them many times. It's one of my first questions when I do a first lesson to find out about the students. What's more important for you, accuracy or fluency? It's a very important question to discuss because then your students can explain, or maybe they haven't thought about it before, that they can say what their priority is. And if they feel like they're fluent but they just can't get it right, then you can focus more on accuracy. But then if they feel like they've got all the theoretical structure but they just can't activate that, then A is for also activation.
That is a really good question for the beginning of the course.
It may change as well as the course goes on, so it's always good to keep asking, are you happy with the error correction? Would you like more error correction? Do you want me to stop error correcting so you can talk more and not be interrupted?
Maybe they're happy with their fluency and they want to move into their accuracy phase.
That's right. And it can ebb and flow. What's the opposite of ebb? It can
Flow.
flow.
I think you said
It is flow. Ebb and flow, wax and wane. It can come and go. It depends on what their target is at that time.
Isn't there one with Wayne?
I said wax and wane. You're not listening.
Sorry.
What are you doing? Checking your email or something? Anyway, I think accuracy is super important, but should not be your only aim. A for aim, A for ambition. It's all important.
Are we going to give any tips on accuracy?
Probably should.
For teachers, I think you need to really think about what you want to get out of this lesson, what you want to give your students. Think hard before putting anything down on paper and starting your lesson plan. Get as much information as you can so that you can accurately prepare a very effective lesson.
Yeah. I've had a student for weeks and weeks and weeks who just cannot remember to say get instead of become. Every time he says, I become an email, I become my lunch, I become a ticket. And I think I'm going to have to really have a lesson now about that one word. Only that one word, just because it's not going in, and every time we speak there's that mistake and it's slowing down the fluency because every time I have to stop to say, no, it's not become, it's get.
And it's probably not just you that's becoming angry, but the student themselves is becoming quite cross that they keep making that error.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a good example. Sometimes become is the same as get. I'm getting angry, I'm becoming angry. But you don't become a hamburger at lunchtime.
Unless a lion walks in.
So maybe, yeah, you need to sometimes put down the fluency ball and pick up the accuracy ball. Bounce that for a while. And then you can go back to bouncing the other one.
Or you could do a little juggling and see what comes of that.
That would be better, wouldn't it? If you could juggle 2 balls, it's not even that hard.
I'm with you on that one, Em. Now, Em, as the regular followers may be familiar, we have a feature at the end of the show.
We do, and I actually don't know what this season's feature is. We've had fabulous features. We had music and songs, we had teacher tips, we had quiz of the week last season. So, Gav, what have you got for us this season?
I did have a quick think about it, and now that you've reminded me of all the previous segments at the end of the show, I've realised maybe we're just going to repeat one.
Oh, is it tips?
Yeah.
Ah.
Teaching and learning tips. I've decided that I could do a teaching or learning tip, and you could do a teaching or learning tip, whatever comes to mind.
Beginning with A.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Let's upgrade this to theme. We've got to keep the theme, Gav. It's got to be with A, hasn't it?
That has got to be with A.
I'll start, shall I? So, I think attitude is key.
Is this for teachers or learners? Now, which of these two particular followers should be most focused on this tip, Em?
I think both equally, because if you've got the wrong attitude, you're not going to get very far. As a teacher, you've got to forget about all the stress and things that are going on and just be in the moment, focus on the lesson, really engage your students. And I think as a student, the same thing. You've got to go to the lesson ready to learn, open-minded, relaxed. And that is, I think, half the battle. If you can have the right attitude, learning will be easier.
I think that is a very nice tip. And it seems so simple, but I think it would take a bit of time for me to get the right attitude.
Yeah, right. It's not as simple as just saying, oh, I need to change my attitude or I need to be in a good mood. So think about what you need to do to get into a good mood before you go into a lesson.
Simply buying a gym membership does not get me huge flexy muscles.
No, you might need to, before the lesson, listen to some music you like to relax. You might need to eat something, have some lunch, because if you go to a lesson hungry or hangry, yep, nobody wants that. You might need to go to the gym so you feel like you've burned off some energy and you don't mind sitting down or focusing on the screen for a while. Whatever it is you need to do to get into the right mood, for me personally, can you guess?
Is it to have a cup of tea?
It's to have a cup of tea, Gav, and I promise you followers, I did not prompt that. It is to make a cup of tea. I just get into the mood and I feel like, okay, now I'm ready. Nice cup of tea. What about you, Gav? What do you think is important for you to get into the mood?
What gets me in the mood?
Yeah, what gives you the right attitude? What makes you feel ready for a lesson?
I like to get my desk ready.
Which means exactly?
I get my laptop set in position. I've got my lights on. I've got my seat in a comfy position. I've got my cup of tea or coffee.
Yeah.
K-O.
Coffee.com. Yeah.
/How to English Pod.
If you want to show us some love.
So I get all my stuff together, got my little notepad, my pen.
Comfy cushion, chair at the right height, window open, maybe a bit of air coming in. So what you're saying, Gav, is comfortable space. I get that, and I think that's really important too.
And I also make sure that my collar's straight.
Aha, so you check yourself out on the camera before you press that join button. You don't want to be surprised. Make sure you've got your blur on background.
I want to feel confident about how I look and how my background looks.
Right.
I need to be professional, Em.
Yeah, totally. So these are steps you take. And as students, you also need to do that. Don't just run off the bus, fly into the room, sit down and not be in the right mindset. I think just get there a little bit early, have a cup of coffee, talk to the people in the room, maybe just get everything ready, your pens, your books, and then you're ready to start when the teacher arrives.
Great tip, Em, for teachers and learners.
So that's attitude. What's your tip?
So my word, Em, for teaching and learning tips, and you might be quite surprised about this, is academic.
I am quite surprised. Why did I think it was going to be something abstract?
Oh, that's too late. So academic, I thought, fits quite well with the idea that students should make notes. Use methods of taking down keywords of language that they hear in the lesson, because I think it makes them more successful as learners. Now, this is just my personal opinion.
Just be a little bit academic. Just in the sense of note-taking. It's really about the note-taking for you.
Just a teeny weeny bit. Say to yourself, I want to leave this classroom with a handful of notes of something that I've learnt. It could be some really useful phrases that I'll use next time I'm in the lift or elevator with somebody, or it could be some other situation. You could be creating an Excel sheet. You might have a little notebook with you.
Send yourself a WhatsApp message.
There's a number of different ways we can record this language, but being a little bit academic, I think, is quite good.
I agree with you. And I have a lot of students who poo-poo note-taking. They say, well, I don't think I need it, or I'm not going to look at them again, or it's just boring, or I can't focus if I make notes. If that's the case, they can't focus, that's fair enough. Just give them a bit of time to say in the lesson, right, 5 minutes, make notes. Doesn't matter if you think you're never going to look at them again. The point is you've got them and they are there if you need to look back. But also I think even just the process of making the notes does help, remember. And there have been a lot of studies, I think, about this, and I don't know.
Emma, you're going to quote some studies for us to add to the
I'm just saying
references.
from my own experience, and a lot of people I know do remember more things if they write them down. That's just anecdotal.
That's enough for me.
Don't at me. I'm just saying. Just saying. That's how I feel about it.
That's it. Be a little bit academic, and you might find that your learning may excel.
Well, that was amazing.
It was awesome.
And we'll be back next time with
another episode of Gav and Em's How to English Pod.
B.
Oh, yeah, the letter B.
Yeah.
That's episode 2.
That's what I meant.
In a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I'll speak to you then.
Okay, Gav. Have fun till then.
Bye for now.
Now what do? Just the stop button.